USF Voices, USF's on-campus singing group, is hosting Aca-West, an a cappella festival on October 19th. We spoke with Megan McCarthy, the president of ASUSF Voices, about what the festival entails.
It's going to be a really great festival with workshops during the day, and then in the evening we're really excited to announce that we will be having a concert with the group The Philharmonic from the Sing-Off, and who are going to be featured in Pitch Perfect 2, and T-Sisters, who won audience favorite at Harmony Sweepstakes last year. So all of this will be taking place on USF campus in the School of Education building. The cost for the entire day is $10, and that includes workshops and the concert in the evening. But if you can't make it to the workshops, or are a little too nervous about wanting to sing in front of people, or only want to attend the concert, all of you guys can register for concert tickets for free.
On August 9th, the shooting of unarmed youth Michael Brown shook the nation. USF's Intercultural Center took action and immediately organized several events to honor the young man's life. The first was a moment of silence at 12 p.m. on the day of the Involvement Fair. We spoke with Alejandro Covarrubias from the Intercultural Center about the process of planning and executing these events.
The actual forum itself was so much bigger than I even intended it to be in the original thing. So we thought, we're like, oh, maybe like 15 or 20 students would show up. We'll have this like really great intimate conversation. And then all of a sudden we had like 85, 90 students in the UC Fourth Lounge. No one in the room knew Michael Brown, right? No one, like, we didn't, like, he wasn't our best friend or our cousin or our brother, and yet we felt it as if he was. You know, we had 85 students show up, but there's a much bigger student population than that, so how do we get them aware? And it originally was Greg Wolcott's idea to do a moment of silence at Involvement Fair. I mean, Involvement Fair was loud. Like, we had music going on, people were talking, it was like this really awesome like energy. So that feeling of nervousness for me, and then this relay of energy calming everyone down and moving into silence was just really beautiful, powerful, and in some ways kind of eerie, you know, to have such a big crowd be so quiet, but knowing why we're doing it.
But how did Michael Brown's unjust death change the perspectives of USF students? We spoke with India Buckley from the Center of Cultural Clubs about the effects.
The only people that broadcasted what had happened in Ferguson were people of color, as opposed to everyone else was still doing the ALS challenge. We don't really know if it's just now become a problem or if it's been a problem, but nobody's known about it because we hadn't had the resources to broadcast it. It's time to recognize that this is a real issue. When you grow up in a society that consistently tries to break you down as a person of color, or as anyone that's just been historically underrepresented, that ends up kind of being the only thing you know. Personally, I realized that in a way, you can only be oppressed if you let people oppress you. So I kind of stress the idea of educating ourselves and kind of reinforcing within ourselves that we as people of color need to kind of reinstate our validity from time to time, telling ourselves that we are powerful, that we have the strength to overcome these issues.
Alejandra Mojica, our intern at USF's Intercultural Center, has plans to collaborate with other culturally focused clubs to create a collage about police brutality. We spoke with her about how the collage will come together.
When someone is killed by the police, the media will often change their story around and basically really dehumanize them or slander their character. Part of what I want the collage to do is to retell these people's stories and talk about who they are as sons and daughters and brothers and sisters, who they were in their family, who they were in their community. Right now I'm working on a lot of outreach to try to build a core group of organizers. So we're really trying to get as many students to submit stories around, it can be personal family members or people that, you know, have been victims of police violence within their communities. It could be a story they heard on the news that they felt was important to include. So that's happening throughout October. As of right now, we'll have 2 art parties where students can come in and actually help make the collage. So once we have all the submissions, then we can start to piece it together and create what it's going to look like, figure out how big or how small, or if we want separate panels, and like how everything is going to be weaved together. So we have one art party collage making day on October 28th in the Intercultural Center, and then also another art party collage making day on November 4th. And then on November 13th, there will be a campus-wide event held in UC 4th Floor Lounge, where we're going to have a really, hopefully, inspiring event to be able to talk about these issues, but also to build solidarity amongst each other and to build solidarity amongst these other communities.